Time of the year for high school basketball fans. When does the tournament start?
Well, the girls have already started. We've already played some games this past week, and of course the boys will be starting next week, depending on what part of the state you're in and what division. And so, we're already headed into round two this weekend, tomorrow and Saturday. And so, exciting times for the kids and the communities.
When it comes to boys basketball, how many divisions are there now?
We have 7 divisions of both boys and girls. But Jay, they're not all equally divided. As you know, we went from 4 to 7 to address the disparity in Division One, and so to do that, we put top 2 divisions 1 and 2 with 64 teams in it, and then divided 5 equally. And so that seemed to address that issue. If you would have divided them all 7 equally, we still would have had a big disparity in Division One.
So how many total teams are in each tournament?
So the girls, we have upper 700s. The boys right in the 800 range. So give and take, some teams will still, we may have a few drop out that don't have enough kids to play from injuries or sickness or something that way. That usually happens, but not many, one or two. That's
a lot of teams to have to play ball in a short window of time. How many locations are involved in hosting these games?
Yeah, well, Jay, we most of our districts now, not all of 6, but most of the districts, to give you an example, the Central District, the better seeded team will host through the district semifinals. And so, we're playing in 400 sites in the boys tournament, and roughly close to that in the girls in those early rounds. And then as we get into the later rounds, that's when we start doing the neutral sites and around the state, and you could have 20 to 30 sites hosting district finals that would do multi-games, some of them in a day. So a lot of sites, rely on a lot of schools, and we appreciate our member schools for their effort in hosting.
When do these tournaments wrap up, Doug?
The boys will be done the 3rd weekend in March, and the girls the 2nd weekend. So staggered, a little bit different, and all the finals will be at University of Dayton. And so we found a good home there that our people seem to like, and so it's a good environment for the kids, and so Dayton's we're just extending out with Dayton for another 3 years, and so we're excited about that being our home for the state finals.
Now, for people who don't normally know the answer to this question, I'm going to ask it anyway. It might seem redundant, but does each division produce its own state champion?
Yes. We'll have 7 champions in the girls and 7 champions in the boys. And so this will be the first year for 7 because we've had 4 in the past. And so we're excited that more kids in Ohio get a chance to be a state champion.
How important are the rankings going into the tournament?
Well, the only thing from a ranking period, if you're talking about an RPI ranking through our Max Prep system, they're important in the sense that the higher you're ranked, the earlier you get to pick your spot on the bracket, because we have one district in Southeast that does NCAA seeding, and so those are placed on, but the other 5 districts, the coaches have the choice to choose what line they want to, and if I'm a 1 seed, I get first pick, and if I'm a 20th seed, I get 20th pick. So those are important, but in terms of playing, that's why you play the game, because the top ranked teams don't always win.
Well, and that was my next question. In the course of the last few years, how often has a proverbial underdog won the state championship?
Oh man, they're always, I don't know if they're underdogs, but every year in some divisions, you have a team that just comes out of nowhere. And the best example I can give you is 2 years ago, Akron-Hoban in Division One. Wasn't on anybody's in the state. And so, every year there seems to be those big upsets, and I'm sure this year won't be any different.
I just finished rewatching the movie Hoosiers, which is, to me, one of my favorite high school basketball movies. And it makes your point. You never know who is going to come out on top in a tournament, because you could be like Reynoldsburg for boys basketball and be 19-1, but that doesn't guarantee that you're going to win it all in your division.
No, it doesn't, and that's the beauty of athletics and dealing with kids. You give kids an opportunity and watch out because, there are those Hoosiers things in all our sports that we have. And so, and it'll happen again this year and it'll happen next year. And there are teams out there, and it's all about giving kids an opportunity to achieve. And I always say, when kids get opportunities, get out of their way, because, they're going to do something special.
These tournament-type activities provide a forum for scouting. How often does that happen, and how do you manage the emotional focus of high school basketball players who may be playing for somebody that, could provide them with their future?
Yeah, I think when you get, obviously we have a lot of college coaches come to our games, but a lot of the recruiting in all our sports anymore is done in the off season, through in basketball, through the AAU circuit and those type of things. But it is. I think college coaches want to see how they react to against good competition and on a big stage, and not just from an athletic standpoint. Is how mature are they, and how they handle themselves, how they treat their teammates, and how they handle adversity. And so, it's a big time for our kids.
Well, we want to thank Doug Ute for taking time out of his busy day from the Ohio High School Athletic Association to talk to us about the tournament. We'll revisit with him after the tournament play is over and talk about who the winners were and what surprises may have happened. But for now, there's more Ohio Sports Magazine coming up right here on the Ohio News Network.
There's nothing like having Common Man and T-Bone resting on your bosom.
Oh, for someone with no breasts, you've done very well for yourself.
Gross. Pick up the latest T-shirt in the fan store, or pick up merch from a show you actually like. We even have Ohio State and jacket stuff. Head to 971thefan.com.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Well, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Back in the studio with a return visit from
Todd Schmelt.
Todd, the last time you were with us, you claimed to be
the dumbest person in Columbus.
You're being really hard on yourself.
Not in the least. You know what I got?
I hate to ask.
One of them thermostats with the dial and the needle. Woo, woo, woo.
Maybe that's not modern, but not...
What am I? Eli Whitney, Elias Howe, Johann Gertis?
I don't know who those people are.
Those are old-timey people from the 19th century, and that's me. Outdated, like my silly old thermostat.
Okay, look, you're not the dumbest guy in Columbus. You just haven't called Apex Pros.
The pros who knows?
Those guys. Whether it's the latest technology, fixing your furnace, or a brand new system, they know all the stuff so you don't have to.
I don't have to know it all?
Nah, you just have to know the pros who knows.
Apex Pros. I'm not the dumbest guy in Columbus.
I didn't even know who Johann Gertis was.
Inventor of the gas-powered unicycle. Look it up, doy.
Okay, you don't have to be me.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Hoops fans, are you ready to score big and get lucky this March?
What's up? It's T-Bone. I'm here to tell you that Bud Light will be holding mini hoops challenges at bars and restaurants across town over the next several weeks with one goal in mind.
To send one lucky local winner to Las Vegas where they'll compete for $10,000.
Take your shot at March Madness glory. This week, join Bud Light on Friday night as they take over Scoreboard on Troy Road in Delaware. The Fan and Bud Light will be there from 7 to 9 p.m.
And they'll have a mini hoops basketball challenge that'll give you a shot at a Vegas trip and $10,000.
Now at Menards, save big money on everything to update your home. Easily create your dream kitchen with Clearview Cabinetry. With so many styles to choose from, you'll be sure to find plenty of options that you will love. Start your project today and save big on Clearview Cabinetry. Visit Menards.com to view our entire selection of Clearview cabinets today. Plus, check out the weekly flyer for many other great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN.
Let me introduce y'all to my canes. We got chicken figures. They hit the spot, baby. Fries are golden crispy, Texas toast crunchy, and they cane sauce creamy rich. One love.
For the Blue Jackets, the magic happens on the ice. But for Blue Jackets fans looking for an amazing getaway, the real Florida magic is here in Central Florida's Polk County. From the natural beauty of Bok Tower Gardens, to the all-ages fun at Legoland Florida Resort, to the chance to do some luxurious glamping on a working dude ranch, it's all here. Even better, it's all just minutes from other area theme parks, too. Discover everything we offer and plan your trip to see the real Florida at visitcentralflorida.com today.
In honor of all those we've lost to cancer and those still fighting and thriving, like basketball analyst and cancer champion Dick Vitale.
I want to beat cancer. I'm going to beat it. That's no doubt in my mind. I'm going to win this battle.
Defeating cancer will take all of us. Join our team to help fund game-changing research that saves lives. At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over the odds. V is for victory over health disparities, victory over setbacks, victory over the unknown. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate to the V Foundation to join our team and help save lives.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul.
100% of donations fund game-changing cancer research. Donate now to the V Foundation at v.org.
Buckeye games have been airing on WBNS since before you were born and before your parents were born. And before Abraham Lincoln was born. Trust me. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
In 2024, the Cleveland Guardians had a phenomenal season, and spring training is upon us as we go into the 2025 season, hoping we will be able to repeat that magic and maybe go even further. Bob DiBiasio is the Senior Vice President of Public Affairs for the team and joins us, and these are always my favorite conversations because I am such a homer when it comes to the Guardians.
Well, good morning to you, Jay. I appreciate your passion for our franchise. I have that same passion, obviously, and it is an exciting time for us as we expect to repeat as AL Central champions and get back to playing October baseball. Fully confident in that. Although, having said that, I think the Tigers and the Royals and the Twins and us, it's going to be a 4-team fight in the American League Central, which should be fun and interesting all year long.
It's interesting also because every year some players stay and other players go, and there have been changes to the roster. The biggest changes have been in the infield. Let's talk a little bit about the thought process behind trading Josh Naylor and Andres Jimenez.
Yeah, you take them separately. Every offseason brings an interesting developments when it comes to creating your roster for the next season. Where are certain veterans at? The development of your own young talent. So let's start with Andres. Andres was a scenario where his offensive production, unfortunately, was going in the wrong direction. And second base, being an offensive position in Major League Baseball, we needed to create more offense at that position. Now, having said that, it's very difficult to lose the best defensive second baseman in all of baseball. But the value of Andres Jimenez, when you look at his contract moving forward, just really escalating over the next few years, while his offense was
declining, and the fact that in our player development system with Travis Bazzana, the number 1 pick overall in all of the MLB draft last year, a second baseman out of Oregon State, Juan Brito, Angel Martinez, Tyler Freeman. We feel pretty good about what our middle infield scenario looks like. So that was a situation that the value for the contract just seemed to be a little off kilter for us with the position of strength in our farm system. So wide open. It'll be interesting to see him. Juan Brito, Angel Martinez, Tyler. I don't know if Travis Bazzana is going to get a chance to be the opening day second baseman in 2025, but we certainly think a lot of that young man, drafting him number 1 overall last year.
Well, and we also have a habit of not rushing people through our farm system, giving them the chance to develop at an appropriate pace.
You're absolutely right. And, you know, interestingly, not very often does a player come out of college, even big-time Division I, and go straight to high Class A baseball, which Bazzana did, and helped the Lake County Captains win a championship in the high Class A league. So he'll probably start at AA, and if he is doing what everyone and he expects of himself, he'll get to AAA, and then you just never know when that opportunity will come at the big league level.
We have an old friend coming back to play first base. Carlos Santana, trip number 3.
Yes, we do, number 3. It'll be great to see the impact that Carlos has. He and Jose are best of buddies, and Carlos has a leadership quality to him. At 38 years old last year, he won his first Gold Glove at first base. And the scenario with Mr. Naylor, he was a free agent after this season, and I think it just wasn't in the cards for our organization to provide a multi-year long-term deal for Josh. And his season that he had a year ago, you could maximize some return. And at this stage, adding starting pitchers to our organization was one of the key elements to what we wanted to accomplish this offseason. And we did that with Sage Ciccone and for sure Luis Ortiz from the Pirates, and the Jimenez deal, who will just slot right into one of the top starting spots.
And you also bolstered the bullpen with acquisitions Jacob Junis and Paul Sewald.
Yeah, absolutely. The interesting thing is people sat back, even Paul Sewald questioned Chris Antonetti. He said, you have the best bullpen of baseball, and you're coming after me as well. And he said, well, you know, we had some movement in our bullpen with a number of guys that were moved on. And so we felt the really dominant force of this franchise last year and this year will be our bullpen, and why not make it better? So we were able to do that with Mr. Paul Sewald, who's been a back end of the bullpen guy. Andrew Walters and Eric Zabrowski, those are 2 guys that you really need to keep an eye on. 2 young guys that pitched tremendously in the postseason last year will be key pieces to our bullpen as well, to go with Cade Smith and Timmy Herron and Hunter Gaddis. It'll be interesting to see Gavin Williams, a former number 1 draft pick, be healthy in spring training and try to win a spot in that rotation. Tristan McKenzie, hopefully he is in a position where he can get back out and be fluid on the mound and command the strike zone. And then right field, Jay, you know, it'll be interesting. Chase DeLauder could be the surprise guy, another former top draft pick, healthy. Obviously, Big Christmas is out there, Will Brennan. So there's some things that we have a keen eye on for spring training, but overall, we feel real good about who we are.
We want to thank Bob DiBiasio, the Senior Vice President of Public Affairs for the Cleveland Guardians, for joining us today. And there is much more Ohio Sports Magazine straight ahead on the Ohio News Network.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
We plant trees because people need trees, and when planted in the right place, they have great impact. Trees help slow climate change, filter our air and water, foster biodiversity, and strengthen our communities. They create the kind of transformational change the world needs now. April is a month filled with opportunities to care for and plant trees. For planting resources, contact an Ohio ISA certified arborist who can help you learn how to take the best care of your trees. Visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Have you ever told a friend?
Oh, I'm fine.
When you really felt?
Just so overwhelmed.
Or sent a text?
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
When you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
Ohio has over 920,000 diabetics. If you are a diabetic, take a step in the right direction by having your feet checked routinely by a podiatric physician, the most qualified doctors to care for your feet. Adding a podiatrist to your healthcare team can help you better manage the effects of diabetes on your feet. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
February is Children's Dental Health Month, so make sure you make an appointment for your child to visit an Ohio Dental Association member dentist. ODA member dentists are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and have access to superior ongoing education and training. On your next visit, ask if your child's dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association and American Dental Association, so you know you're being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit ODA.org.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
Now, let's check in with Matt Andrews for this week's Ohio Broadcaster Roundtable.
Welcome back to this week's Ohio Sports Magazine. It's a pleasure of mine to have my great guest and radio partner on women's basketball with me. 37th year she's called Buckeye Women's Hoops. Kristen Watt, I don't mean to date you, but as a former captain, you've got great pride in doing this. You love doing it, and we love having you along. But it's been a unique year, has it not?
No, it has been a great year. It's been a fun year to call. There's a lot of talent on this team, and there have been maybe a couple expected losses. There's been one totally unexpected loss. A team that has had and I'm sure we'll get to this, a couple of overtime wins that maybe should have never gotten into overtime. But it's been a great year, and this is a fun group of women to have the privilege to work with.
The 8th-ranked Buckeyes are 22-3 as we record this. Busy week ahead, 11-3 right now, third place in the Big Ten. That's kind of loaded towards the two new teams from the West Coast, UCLA and USC. Kristen, let me start with this. You mentioned the home overtime wins, back-to-back games. I'm sure in all your years, you'll go a number of streaks now with not seeing that. In both games, Ohio State had won, and both games slipped away, and they still won. So I can't quite figure it all out right now.
Yeah, I know you and I and the coaching staff are probably in the same shoes, and I know I have listened to some of the interviews with Cody McMahon, who's also a little bit flummoxed about what's happened. I had a friend of mine who was in the car listening to you and I on the radio, and got out of the car thinking the game was over, and went back in the house to turn on the game and saw that it was in overtime, and it was like, how is that possible? You guys were up, 12 points with a couple minutes to go, and some hot shooting threes. A team can sometimes get going and get hot, and it's been very unusual to see that kind of giveaway to allow a team back in. And missed free throws have been key about that. You and I have said that all season long, that the free throw shooting was going to catch up with them. Who the other team is going to foul to put to the free throw line, and even some of the better players missing some important free throws that could have put the game away. And yet they were missing very important free throws down the stretch to allow another team to get opportunities. And the one thing that worries me about that is that this is happening, these mental slips are happening at the end of the season when you're supposed to be playing your best basketball, and it allows other teams to know, and the coaches of other teams to say, hey, this is a team that, quote unquote, can fold down the stretch. Keep at it, and you might be able to get a win. So it makes it hard to demoralize another team and take them out of the game when you allow teams back in. Now, granted, Minnesota and Iowa are both very good teams. They're both one of those teams that they've got some good, strong wins on both of them, but they've lost some tough ones too. So it's not like you're losing to a team that's struggling at the bottom of the Big Ten. But Ohio State did lose on the road to Penn State this year in a game that was an absolute stunner for everyone. They came back and obviously have won since then, except the UCLA and USC games out on the West Coast.
Kristen Watt, Ohio State radio analyst for the Buckeye Sports Network from Learfield, is our guest. Couple of quick topics here. Let's touch on this freshman class, Kristen, as we hit March. So obviously, no freshman is really a freshman anymore. A couple of names to really to pop off the chart about what's going on with this team right now. Obviously, the much heralded incoming Jelani Cambridge. And then Ava Watson's played well of late. Streaky shooter, dealing a little bit with an ankle injury. But Elsa Lemela, the young freshman from Finland, 6'7" height. Just a wonderful freshman class for Kevin McGuff and his staff, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. And it's been really fun. Jelani, we saw right at the beginning of the season, this young lady is special. She was very mature on the court as a court leader, as a freshman. Obviously as a freshman, you're still going to make mistakes, but as the leader on the floor to be that point guard, she took that over right away, and her speed is unbelievable. I cannot explain fast that she is, the quickness and the speed. And then Ava Watson, from the beginning of the season until now, we've known that she's been a shooter. I said at the beginning of the season, she never saw a three that she didn't like. And as she's matured over the season, she's become a better three-point shooter, and she's become a more selective three-point shooter. So she knows when to pop the three, and she's not just popping it just any old time. She's now being more deliberative when she's going to take those shots, knowing that maybe a couple more passes around might be good, make the defense work a little bit. So she's maturing. And Elsa, who came in with that knee injury off of last year, didn't play her last year in Finland, came over, and she's just continuing to grow, and her defense ability with block shots, her size. She's now getting more mobile with that side to side as she has more confidence in her knee. And that's a fabulous freshman class. And then I'm going to throw in also Kennedy Cambridge, Jelani's sister, who didn't play last year. And this is her first year playing for Ohio State. And she's become the sixth man. She is the first person off the bench and always brings a punch of energy. Not quite as quick as Jelani, but very fast and deceptive because she stands at 5'9" or something, 5'10", but she has long arms and she has hops out of the gym.
Kristen, we'll miss you for the first time in forever, literally. Almost 40 years, you're not going to be in Indy. We'll do our best in getting the games broadcast with Katie Motter-Henniger, and we always appreciate your input. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Matt.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Right now, select varieties or buy 2 get 2 free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Winter's here, and as the snow begins to pile up outside, you might find yourself dreaming of warmer days, sunshine, barbecues, fishing, maybe even thinking about those home projects you've been putting off for forever. Why wait for spring to start planning? Now's the perfect time to get ahead. With so many roofing, gutter, and siding companies out there, it can feel overwhelming to know where to begin. With over 30 years of experience and a focus on every detail, Newman Roofing makes it simple. As a family-owned business, they're dedicated to delivering an outstanding customer experience from your first phone call all the way through to the final touches on your home. When it comes to roofing, gutters, and siding, trust the name that's been a local favorite for decades, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, 30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell furnaces instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
For Sunday, that rain transitions over to become all snow, and gusty winds will make travel difficult, so take your time. And we'll see those daytime highs in the upper 30s with temperatures crashing by Sunday nights. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is ONN.
Tony Petitti is the commissioner of the Big Ten Conference. Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the Southeastern Conference. Both men are considered to be the top power brokers in college football. The pair met earlier this week in New Orleans to discuss, among other things, expanding the college football playoff, the college football calendar, a possible regular season Big Ten SEC football challenge, and the future of football conference championship games. Paul Feinbaum covers college football at large for ESPN. He joined Bo Bishop earlier this week on ONN affiliate WBNS FM in Columbus. Paul says college football decision makers are going to try in the coming years to balance increasing revenue with maintaining the magic of the beautiful sport.
I think that is the most difficult challenge. I think that's one reason why you saw the idea of Big Ten SEC non-conference games scheduled, because they're really putting some serious rivalries in danger. Number one, the SEC is going to 9 games, which it's long overdue. But it also makes about half the league uncomfortable because they're the bottom dwellers, as you know. So I think basically college football as we know it, Bo, is over. They're just trying to put the prettiest face forward, but it's like it's very difficult to do.
Yeah, it is. And when you think about, I see this reporting out of The Athletic, Scott Docterman, who we've had on a bunch, and some of the reporting in terms of this notion of taking championship weekend and reinventing it and have it be 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 12. And then the SEC having a conversation about a more radical idea with 1 versus 8, 4 versus 5, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6. Buddy, I remember the look on Kirby Smart's face standing next to Sankey going, let's think about what you guys just put me through, and then saying it out loud on a microphone. How do you do that? Now you're adding 4 more highly leveraged games to your league before they even get to a playoff?
Well, I think it is an absolutely laughable proposal, and I don't think it will go over because of exactly what you just said. Think about Kirby Smart for a second. Nobody wants to feel sorry for him, but he played last year at Alabama, at Texas, at Ole Miss. He also opened the season against Clemson, which was a playoff team and the ACC champ. So, and he finished the season against Georgia Tech in 18 overtimes or whatever it was. So, I don't think that will go over. They're trying to preserve championship weekend, but I don't think they can if they go to 14 and ultimately to 16. I mean, they're just throwing things up against the wall right now. And quite frankly, I am with a lot of the public that really don't like what's going on. I think for self-preservation of the Big Ten and the SEC had to take the hand of the ship because it was about to sink.
Yeah, and I might be a little bit like the Titanic. You can do all you want, but there might not be any saving it. What is it about championship weekend? And I'll be very candid with you that this isn't reinventing the wheel for you. I know that, but it does matter. That championship game in the SEC, it matters more than the Big Ten does. Now, some of that is because it's usually been Ohio State, Michigan, or somebody against a Big Ten West team that's very underwhelming, and so the matchup isn't quite as glamorous as what you've gotten out of the SEC for all these years. But why are Petitti and Sankey so adamant about hanging on to that weekend?
Well, I know from the SEC standpoint, it's the highest-rated game of the year, so they don't want to lose that. But I was in Atlanta this year, and it just didn't feel that big. It was Georgia and Texas, the 2 best teams in the league, but we'd already seen the game and what was billed as the game of the year, even though it wasn't. And there were empty seats, and Texas fans were like, we want to show up because we're told this is so great, but it really wasn't. And I think some of it is just old-fashioned. You have all your sponsorship events going on and the activations, and from the beginning of the game until the end, until this year, it's lost a lot of value. It's marquee because it happens on a weekend when there's much less football than normal. But I think now, I really think it needs to go. But don't fight to keep it. But it will not work playing more. Nobody wants to play any more games.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
Remember how that little girl in Poltergeist was in the TV?
They're here.
Yeah? Well, she's actually dead now. It's quite sad. Anyway, watch your favorite fan shows on your TV by subscribing to us on YouTube. Search 971 The Fan. Do it now.
Save a good deal more at Meijer during the 7 for $7 sale going on now. Pay just $1 each when you mix or match any 7 or more on participating items, like Meijer frozen vegetables, Bush's beans, Red Gold canned tomatoes, Meijer facial tissue, and Powerade sports drink. Getting more for your money with the Meijer 7 for $7 sale. Now that's the good life. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
Back in the studio with a return visit from
Todd Schmelt.
Todd, the last time you were with us, you claimed to be
the dumbest person in Columbus.
You're being really hard on yourself.
Not in the least. You know what I got?
I hate to ask.
One of them thermostats with the dial and the needle. Woo, woo, woo.
Maybe that's not modern, but not.
What am I? Eli Whitney, Elias Howe, Johann Gertis?
I don't know who those people are.
Those are old-timey people from the 19th century, and that's me. Outdated, like my silly old thermostat.
Okay, look, you're not the dumbest guy in Columbus. You just haven't called Apex Pros.
The pros who knows?
Those guys. Whether it's the latest technology, fixing your furnace, or a brand new system, they know all the stuff so you don't have to.
I don't have to know it all?
Nah, you just have to know the pros who knows.
Apex Pros. I'm not the dumbest guy in Columbus.
I didn't even know who Johann Gertis was.
Inventor of the gas-powered unicycle. Look it up, doy.
Okay, you don't have to be me.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Hoops fans, are you ready to score big and get lucky this March? What's up? It's T-Bone. I'm here to tell you that Bud Light will be holding mini hoops challenges at bars and restaurants across town over the next several weeks with one goal in mind, to send one lucky local winner to Las Vegas where they'll compete for $10,000. Take your shot at March Madness glory. This week, join Bud Light on Friday night as they take over Scoreboard on Troy Road in Delaware. The Fan and Bud Light will be there from 7 to 9 p.m., and they'll have a mini hoops basketball challenge that'll give you a shot at a Vegas trip and $10,000.
Save big money on everything now at Menards. Countertops are the center of the home with stylish options for every lifestyle and durability that will last for years to come. Transform everyday spaces into gathering places with custom-craft countertops from Menards. Visit our kitchen showrooms in-store or go on Menards.com and get a free design estimate today. Plus, check out our weekly flyer for many other great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Who are the people that serve part-time in the Ohio Army National Guard? We are your neighbors and friends. We are your sons and daughters. Our service is providing us valuable job skills, and it pays up to 100% of our tuition. We're proud to serve our state. We are your Ohio Army National Guard. Learn more about part-time service with the Ohio Army National Guard at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard. Aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
I'm an old school Joe, and my philosophy is real simple and effective. It's not what you win or lose, it's what you save. And betting reduced juice at Prime Sports Ohio is the way to save money on every single bet. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Use promo code JUSTSPORTS. Get a welcome bonus up to $100 and be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
It's time to discuss Cincinnati Reds baseball and hear from Stephen Offenbaker of Locked On Reds with our Paul Keels.
Well, all the spring training activity gives us reason to start talking again with the guys from the Locked On Reds podcast, and it's our pleasure to have one of the co-hosts, Steve Offenbaker, with us. Steve, before we get into everything else that's going on, how did you enjoy watching Ohio State take apart Oregon in the Rose Bowl?
Oh, there are very few games I could point to that I had a better time at. What a game to witness live and be in a stadium when Ohio State put it all together, just all at one time. It was so much fun.
It sure was. All right, now on to baseball. It's been so long since we've spoken on this. Your input on the Terry Francona hiring, Steve?
This is a big signing for the Reds. As far as a managerial impact goes, this is one of those rare times where I really think who is going to be in charge of this team is going to make a difference. They needed a guy that could not only relate to the players, but could also hold those same players accountable. And I think that's where the previous coaching staff kind of fell down on the job. They could relate with the players, but they didn't hold anybody accountable. And that's what we heard the most from the players that both have left the organization since then and the ones that are there now. That there was a little bit of a breakdown. So with Tito coming in, he's saying all the right things and doing all the right things. One of the first things he did was go down to the Dominican and meet with Elly De La Cruz and Jeimer Candelario. He has said he wants Elly to be not only the best player on the Reds, but the best player in baseball. He asked Elly if Elly wanted to be held accountable, and Elly said, yes, I want to be the best. So, all of the pieces are in place. Francona has a tremendous track record of being able to work with young players and get the most out of them. And I think this is the perfect scenario for Francona getting back into baseball after a year off to really take a team and push it to the next level.
Steve, you and Jeff on one of your podcasts this past week talked about Elly De La Cruz. And if you would just kind of go through again your feeling on the realistic expectations of this young man.
You look at his season last year, and he had all of the numbers that pointed at an MVP season. And I know that's saying a lot, right? His first full year in baseball, MVP numbers. But, his WAR was right on target, 5 to 6. His slash line was good. He hit 25 home runs. He led the league in stolen bases with 67. There were a lot of things. Now, critics will point to he led the league in strikeouts also. So, there is work for him to do. But when you look at what he did and what he's still capable of, we haven't seen his ceiling. We don't know where that talent is going to stop. He's going to continue to get better. So I think under Francona's guidance, Elly's going to work on cutting down his strikeouts a little bit. I think that as he gains respect, naturally the umpires are going to adjust the way they call. Elly got a lot of calls, called strike threes that weren't in the strike zone, especially low, down around his shins and ankles, just because he's so tall. I think that will naturally correct itself. Matt McLain being back in this lineup will also help Elly see better pitches. All of those things are going to combine to Elly being in conversation for an MVP type season. Now, Shohei Ohtani pitching again may have something to say about that out in Los Angeles, but for just on paper at the beginning of the season, I have every expectation that Elly will be in that MVP conversation when we reach the end of the 2025 baseball season. He's just a tremendous talent.
Steve, we talked a lot last year about the defensive positions and how those folks figured in, batting, outfield, all of that. Any early feeling in camp here, how you think that defense might start to look out or where the candidates will be?
Yeah, it's very interesting right now because the additions of Gavin Lux, the additions of Austin Hayes have allowed for some interesting possibilities. Austin Hayes coming in, I think, will be your left fielder the majority of days. Now, he'll get some time off, but most of the time he'll be out there and left. And what that means is Spencer Steer is now freed up to come back to the infield. And I think, given what he's dealing with his shoulder, you're looking at your new first baseman in Spencer Steer. Terry Francona last week said that he's got Matt McLain penciled in as the second baseman. When Terry was hired, he said Elly De La Cruz is his shortstop. So that leaves Gavin Lux and Jeimer Candelario really competing for third base. Again, Austin Hayes in left. TJ Friedel, if healthy, is your center fielder. And then my favorite new creation, the Freychild, which is a combination of Jake Fraley and Stuart Fairchild, are going to be your right fielder. And that outfielder, now I know it's funny, and I like it because it's funny, but also that outfielder, when you combine them in a platoon, had an OPS plus of 120 last year. That's a pretty good outfielder. So I like that lineup.
Love it, Steve. The Fairchild. Love that. Steve Offenbaker from Locked On Reds. For those of you that are Reds fans, you need to make sure you follow it. Steve, thanks as always for your time.
I appreciate it, Paul.
We'll be back with more Ohio Sports Magazine next on the Ohio News Network.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Have you ever told a friend?
Oh, I'm fine.
When you really felt?
Just so overwhelmed.
Or sent a text?
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
When you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
We plant trees because people need trees, and when planted in the right place, they have great impact. Trees help slow climate change, filter our air and water, foster biodiversity, and strengthen our communities. They create the kind of transformational change the world needs now. April is a month filled with opportunities to care for and plant trees. For planting resources, contact an Ohio ISA certified arborist who can help you learn how to take the best care of your trees. Visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Ohio has over 920,000 diabetics. If you are a diabetic, take a step in the right direction by having your feet checked routinely by a podiatric physician, the most qualified doctors to care for your feet. Adding a podiatrist to your healthcare team can help you better manage the effects of diabetes on your feet. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
February is Children's Dental Health Month, so make sure you make an appointment for your child to visit an Ohio Dental Association member dentist. ODA member dentists are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and have access to superior ongoing education and training. On your next visit, ask if your child's dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association and American Dental Association, so you know you're being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit ODA.org.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
Now let's get some highlights from the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Here's producer Bodie Wells to set the scene.
Thanks, Jay. On the show this week, the guys discussed what's one thing they want to see out of the Cleveland Cavaliers in the second half of this NBA season.
Over the final 28 games of the season for Cleveland, what's the number one thing that you're looking for this team to kind of solidify, put in stone before the playoff push?
Toughness, and toughness. I think that's the only thing that's missing from this team. We talked about it on Tuesday, or was that yesterday? Yesterday. Well,
yesterday.
We was talking about how, all of the Tristan Thompson and the Jared Allen screens and all those things. At the end of the day, I still want to see these guys fight back. I don't want to see these guys get pushed around. I want to see these guys continue to dominate the paint. I think they've really answered the bell on any other questions that we had. They're doing a great job of sharing the ball. Their DG has come back with vengeance this season and become one of the clutchest players in the closing minutes of a game. Donovan, maybe he's not the same Donovan, but he has to be. I mean, it's still there. Trust me. If it get like that, we know that Donovan can take off. But right now, he's doing a really good job of letting everybody carve their roles out. And then you see Evan. Evan was the big key that everybody talked about. Evan has been comfortable taking the ball coast to coast. He's gotten the ball. He's dunked on people. He's shooting a three with conviction now. It ain't even no thought. He's just pulling the thing. He's not afraid to put the ball on the ground and take people to the cup. Everybody, all the things that we worried about, they went out and they acquired a bigger guard or a bigger wing that can defend. So when you go up against the Jason Tatums and the Jaylen Browns, you got somebody that can at least cover them. You've beaten OKC. You've beaten the Celtics. The only thing that y'all struggled with was the toughness. And when you went up against the Rockets, obviously the Hawks game was what it was. I think you go up against Memphis soon, so that'll be a toughness test for you guys. I just want to see you guys continue to finish. Can you guys continue to battle and continue to bang with people and not back down to anybody? If you can answer that question in these last 28 games, because there's some games in there that you'll go up against some scrappy teams.
To catch the full breakdown, just search for the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show on YouTube. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and enjoy their daily content covering all things Cleveland sports. We'll be back to wrap up this week's Ohio Sports Magazine show here on the Ohio News Network.
Here's a quick listening guide. When something's on the fan, it's on the station you're listening to right now. If I say something's on ESPN Columbus, it's on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2. When in doubt, stream it on the Fan app. Thank you and good night.
At Meijer, we work hard to bring more of the good life to your life, so you can bring home more perfectly plump and flavorful produce picked for precise freshness, beautifully marbled beyond brag-worthy certified Angus beef, and more must-have money-saving M-Perks rewards. Because saving more on local favorites is good, but bringing home more of what you love in every trip, that's the good life. We do more to make life a good deal better at Meijer.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Well, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Retirement Group. When you leave a job, don't leave your 401k. Grow your investment without the fees associated with 401k plans. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
Back in the studio with a return visit from
Todd Schmelt.
Todd, the last time you were with us, you claimed to be
the dumbest person in Columbus.
You're being really hard on yourself.
Not in the least. You know what I got?
I hate to ask.
One of them thermostats with the dial and the needle. Woo, woo, woo.
Maybe that's not modern, but not...
What am I? Eli Whitney, Elias Howe, Johann Gertis?
I don't know who those people are.
Those are old-timey people from the 19th century, and that's me. Outdated, like my silly old thermostat.
Okay, look, you're not the dumbest guy in Columbus. You just haven't called Apex Pros.
The pros who knows?
Those guys. Whether it's the latest technology, fixing your furnace, or a brand new system, they know all the stuff so you don't have to.
I don't have to know it all?
Nah, you just have to know the pros who knows.
Apex Pros. I'm not the dumbest guy in Columbus.
I didn't even know who Johann Gertis was.
Inventor of the gas-powered unicycle. Look it up, doy.
Okay, you don't have to be me.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros, the pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Let me introduce y'all to my canes. We got chicken fingers. They hit the spot, baby. Fries are golden crispy, Texas toast crunchy, and they cane sauce creamy rich. One love.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here, thinking I did something spectacular dropping 50 pounds, but then Steve pops in and dropped a whopping 150 pounds with Awaken 180 weight loss.
I got started because I was sick and tired of just being sick and tired all the time, wanted more from life, and I knew that at my size, I wasn't being who I could be, who I want to be for not only myself, but for my wife. And I was like, something has got to change and it's got to start soon. I mean, the program is so easy. Everything is really written down for you on your first day. Having someone there to help you and also keep you accountable, just having that someone to talk to, and even the fact that Awaken 180 offers free maintenance for life is amazing because our lives change on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And sometimes you need help figuring it out because keeping the weight off is a lifetime commitment.
A lifetime commitment is what you'll receive with Awaken 180. More than 50 pounds to lose like I did, or over 100 pounds like Steve, Awaken 180 can get you there and keep you there. Free support for life online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Here's a quick 10-second reminder that the Buckeyes have won the Natty. Also, we air all the games, and we always will. Thank you. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Now back to Ohio Sports Magazine on the Ohio News Network. Once again, here's Jay Fox.
Big thank you to Bob DiBiasio from the Cleveland Guardians and Doug Ute from the Ohio High School Athletic Association for being on this week's show. Thanks to all of our Locked On podcast contributors this week as well. For Bodie Wells, Eric Reeser, and Paul Keels, I'm Jay Fox. Thanks for listening to Ohio Sports Magazine. Join us next week right here on the Ohio News Network.
Broadcasting